So still working on the same issue. I have done some research, got some ideas on how I can do this. There's a couple of events, and quick summary of what I'm attempting to do is currently I have these ClickUp tags are kind of the way we load up all of the references you see above. So there's a scanning process that's currently going on, and it's just constantly going. It's scan, 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 document for markers. And you don't see it change here because the only reason this isn't changing is because it's not seeing anything different, but it is constantly scanning. So what I did is I disabled one of the scan functionalities, because what it was doing is I think it was kind of like actually tripping over itself, especially at startup. And having constant scanning felt inefficient. It felt like it was, it's just, I feel like you're putting load on your system. You're running something that doesn't need to be running all the time. The only time it really needs to change is if something actually changes in the document or any document. So you don't need to scan all documents. You really only need to scan the active document, right? There's no reason to load references for every document if they're not even, there's nothing there, or if you're not loaded. If the document loads, I can see it. You want to do this for, loaded documents. So the idea was to try to figure out, is there a way using TypeScript, which is what this is written in, to track when an extension changes or document changes? And yes, there is. Of course, I did this with AI. I did a little research there. And it gave me some ideas. Now, I'm not sure if I'm using any of these in any other form, so I'm going to go take a look. So there's the on document change, which I'm pretty sure I don't have. On document change. Yeah, I don't have that one in there yet. And the other one it mentioned is on did open text document. On did open text. On did open text document. Okay, so there's not. So that said, these two items are not actually in existence. The problem is I don't fully understand or know where. For even more performance, you can check what specific changes occurred. All right, so that would actually be good. I would like to do it that way, but here's the thing. I also need to know when my all right, so it mentions these kind of things. I'm looking at it on another screen, but all right, so as some ideas. File type filtering, only scan relevant file types. I don't know if I need to do that. On did change text document. Get a larger range around the change to catch partial tags. I think ultimately I like this, checking for on did change text document, which fires no matter what, right? But it's going to only do a scan if this changed, right? So we have to click up, and I don't need the parens because that's not what they're typing. There's no that, but it'd be ClickUp : and that just lets it scan. That's all it does. It's just going, oh, ClickUp. I see ClickUp. Let's go run the scan. And it has to be part of the change. And I don't know what deep bouncing means. What does that say? If users type quickly, you might want to deep bounce the scanning. I don't know what that means. If event content change dot length greater than 0, clear existing timeout. If scan timeout, clear timeout. Set new timeout to scan after user stops typing. Oh, huh, interesting. All right, so I guess the next thing is incremental scanning. Only scan changed portions for large files. And so how would these work with line changes? line count changes. Since I track where references are positioned, I need to update the line numbers on my task reference pane when new lines are entered. Lines when new lines are added, line number above also, how do they work? Paste. The on-did change document event provides detailed information about what changed, including the line count changes. See, I tried to have my other code do this stuff, and it was just stumbling. It could not figure stuff out. So I'm thinking if I could just come up with a function that says, check for this. Interface, ClickUp, reference, task ID string, line number, character number, document URI. On change text document, event document key, event document URI. Process each change to update line numbers. Event content changes for each change, blah, blah, blah. Update line numbers for change. Existing refs change. Rescan the document to find new removed references. Update your UI pane. Update task reference. Process each change to update line numbers. Oh, I see what it's doing. It's updating the line numbers. It's storing the line numbers. Okay, so that's kind of what I think it was trying to do at one point. It didn't quite fire correctly. For even better tracking, you can use VS Code's position tracking utilities. Undid change document. Sort changes by position, last to first to avoid position shifting issues. How does that prevent anything? Sort changes by position. That's the first to avoid. Sorting changes for each change existing refs. Check if reference position needs updating. I know I was doing some stuff earlier. In fact, I fixed an issue earlier where items weren't displaying correctly because of the order. I think it was the clear deleted references. Clear completed references. I had to clear them in reverse. Basically, I removed the tags, but I didn't want to do that from the top down because it would change the position of the ones underneath it, thereby losing the line numbers of each removed item. So by doing it in reverse, I could remove the positions of each removed item, and it would fix itself. That worked pretty well. But it gives you a lot of ideas on here. Copy paste handle. Copy paste operation works seamlessly with these events. Here's what happens. Event a content change for each. Copy change. Copy paste. Change text will contain the pasted content. Change.range will show where it was inserted. Complete example with debouncing. Alright, so it's not a ClickUp tracker. It's a ClickUp tag tracker or ClickupLink tracker. Let's see. References equal new map, string ClickUp ref, update. constructor, status bar, item. There's a lot going on. Handle document change. If event. One of the things it doesn't, oh, do I have to put it in? Do these items go into specific file types / file names, or can they be put anywhere? This is where you activate function goes and where you typically set up the main event. Okay, so I do have an extensions.ts, which is this guy. Let's go see what this one has. Deactivate, auth tree, code lens disposable, code lens provider, export function. There's the activate and the imports. Let's go see here. Now I am using AI for this, but separate from my code because I don't want it putting it in, and I kind of want to see what it's talking about. And this is Claude trying to give me a decent answer, which Claude isn't too bad. Claude is probably the best still, even with all the other versions that have updated. I actually still kind of go back and forth between 4 and even 3.7. I don't use Opus often. It's kind of expensive. And it uses up a lot of my things, my premium uses. So we have activate, but what I need to do console log ClickUp extension is now active. So when it activates, this is where we're going to trigger stuff. So that must be where things are happening at the beginning of the app. Let's see what it's doing. Let's go see what is happening. So there's a lot of stuff that happens in Activate. And maybe that's part of what my problem is. I got too much crap in here. Because honestly, there's a lot of stuff. This is when everything goes live, right? Initialize all output channels, which is fine. I created a few. And then I must have a function initialize channels. Do I have an output channel manager, or is that just a built-in thing? Oh, I do. Output channels. Huh. That's a new one. Okay, so anyway, sorry. Store context globally for hooks. Store context globally for hooks. Set initial authentication context. All right, so execute command. So we're not doing too much there. Initialize tree data providers for sidebar views. Yeah, register tree data providers. Those are all my panels. Simple code lens provider for ClickUp, breadcrumb navigation, register code lens provider for clickable triggers, initialize code lens provider, register commands using modular panel system. Subscribe to configuration changes, subscribe to config changes, I don't know what that is. Check authentication status on startup. Store output channel for use. So it doesn't really do much on the activate, except we got to add some stuff to it. Separate tracker class. This is where you'd put the detailed tracking logic. File type restrictions, your choice. Work on all files. Restrict to specific file types. Use language ID. Exclude certain files. It doesn't know I'm already doing some of this stuff. Configuration option. You could also make this user configurable via VS Code settings. Already have functions that can do the scan and update references. How that works. I just need to have a reliable / controllable scan trigger rather than constant scanning. All right, so on activate, we need to add these guys with debouncing recommended if you want to avoid scanning on every stroke. I don't want file type filtering. Okay, so minimal implementation. That's it. Your existing scan can update functions will now only be called when documents actually change. Okay, so I just put this in. So I just add the const debug or debouncing suggestion to the onActivate. Okay. Start up a channel for use throughout extension. All right, so on did change text document. So this is like my little test, and now I just need to have my existing function, which I guess is really just going to be my I'm trying to decide what I'm calling. I think what I'm going to do is call the update references from marker. That's update. No, I need a refresh from ClickUp. That updates references for markers, but that doesn't. I'm trying to decide if I want to just call refresh from ClickUp. that's really what I'm trying to think of doing. Do I just call this? Because ultimately, that might be all I need to do. If I call refresh from ClickUp, update references from markers, and get active references, all those things update as expected. And refresh from ClickUp with options. task references, build task tooltips, status, create breadcrumbs. Fetch latest description from Clickup. So I just feel like I still feel like there's a little redundant stuff going on. That's the thing. Because if I have get task details here, and then I also have it on, I have it being called everywhere. Get task details. It's like everywhere. Why do I have it in so many places? I have it here being called part of the create breadcrumbs. Here, well, twice it's being called there. And here it's inside the refresh from Clickup. Fetch latest task details from Clickup API. And this one says, if this is a subtask, or we're getting it for the parent. Oh, this is breadcrumbs. Okay, so that's just getting it, and then we pass it in and create the breadcrumbs. But I'm still not. ClickUp code lens tasks, and then we have it here. Set up task reference. And that one's part of change status. We just have so much. I just feel like there's a lot of calls to get task details. Change assignee. Change subtask. Get task details. Huh. Maybe it's not so bad because it's getting it for different reasons. Pulling different information. It's still not ideal because you're calling back to ClickUp for all of those items, but it's almost like I want to store all of the information related to these and then just rely on my refreshing regularity. But I don't know if that's any better. Yeah. All right, let's just go back to it. Change task. Create code lens for reference. Create breadcrumbs. Provide, oh, this is the one that I got rid of. Provide code lenses. And the thing is, this isn't triggered anywhere. Provide code lenses, it's just constantly getting fired. How does that work? Why is it getting fired constantly? Something is constantly firing this, and I don't see where. Because it's not actually in code anywhere. It's just sitting there. Is it being assigned to something? This function seems to run constantly. It's triggering. Is there some kind of So it says this is getting triggered. The method in this class gets called by VS Code in several scenarios. Registration mechanism. Your extension registers the code in front of all file types with VS Code languages register code lens. This means VS Code will call provide code lens for any document open in the editor. That's fine. Automatic VS Code triggers. VS Code automatically calls provide code lenses when a document is opened or becomes visible in the editor. The editor needs to display one document content. Manually triggers in your code. Your code explicitly triggers provide code lenses by firing the... Huh. But it's constantly firing. That's just too much. I want it to fire once at startup and then only when there's changes. It's too much. After saving task references, save task. Dang it, am I over my limit again? Did it again. Oh, nope, it's only 30 minutes. All right. Provide code lenses. It's doing it. It works correctly, except I don't want it constantly doing this. And for some reason, when it's constantly doing this, it totally breaks on the opening steps. And I can put it in, but it... Hold on, my wife's asking for something. Huh. Okay. My wife asked for a code that was sent to me. She goes, oh, guess I didn't need a code. She must have been logging into something that uses my email as the identifier. Okay, back to it. My wife made an appointment for me to go get a full body cancer scan. I don't know why or what. Hey, Hey, Karama, how you doing, man? We spent a lot of time in the sun this summer. We were out a lot, and I was getting a lot of sun. And I got a sunspot on my head here. And she's like, "You need to get that checked." so, so, so anyway, that's why she did it. I thought that was kind of funny. I didn't know she was going to do that. Probably a good idea, though. I don't know. I mean, it's just a sunspot, I think. But lots of sun, I get them. I get it. I got these ones under my eye that fade. They come and go. They come in the summer and disappear in the winter. And then I had the one on my head, which came out pretty bright and bold this summer. And I was like, huh, I should get that checked. But who knows? By the time I go in, it'll probably be gone. it's They tend to get really bold when they get a lot of sun, and then they just fade away. So I don't know when she made the appointment. I'll have to look. She didn't. If she sent it to me, it's probably going to show up on my calendar. Anyway, back to it. So Karama and anyone else who checks this out. I'm trying to fix. I fixed a bunch of issues with my ClickupLink, but now I've got one that if I fix this one, the other ones should be pretty easy. One is just setting a timer for a refresh. One is trying to implement refresh in the right location, and that's what I'm really trying to do. Because what's happening is, one, things don't load quite right because I think they're refreshing wrong when things load. So if I can centralize or take control over the refreshing process, I think the startup one will fix, and then implementing a setting that lets me adjust that timer would be good too. Or maybe I don't even bother with the setting one. If I can get it to respond and do what I want in a fashion in which I'm happy with. So I got this provide code lens one, which is supposed to be taking care of my references, but you see, I got this guy, which is called here as part of refresh, and this is the refresh from ClickUp that I want to have controlling everything. But there's a spot where, let's see here, go get task references or get active references. And then we go down here to a bunch of other junk. It says always use the current position from the document scan. It's scanning, blah, 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 get task details. It just builds them back up. This is just building it from the ClickUp. So it goes and gets the latest, like if somebody changed titles or statuses or signees, whatever. It'll get it, refresh it, clean it up. Now the problem is that takes a little time because it's doing more stuff. There's times when all I want to do is move or look for new ones. Basically, that's all I'm doing. I'm either looking for new items or just trying to relocate the ones I have. So they don't necessarily need to refresh to ClickUp, but I do need well, a new one will, but that has a different process, so that'll go get it. I just need to scan for them and set them right and set the references right. And I am not successfully finding a good place to do that, and that's where I'm struggling here. So yeah, clean up orphan, persist references. This is where I'm actually saving. Actually, what does that do? That's not still trying to. Get references, range, start line. Oh, maybe that is. Oh, that's probably that is. Refresh the task reference pane. On change code lenses. See, that's what this is supposed to do, but maybe I need to put this in. it's been a few weeks there, Karama. How are you been? How's school going? Hot fires on save task reference. Refresh callback on load references. Oh no, that's on execute task command. Oh. Set up task reference. Force refresh. So code lens and task references being updated immediately. Let's add task reference at cursor. I feel like I have redundant code in here too, or redundant or even deprecated code. Task reference at cursor. A lot of task reference at cursor. Dispose. Clear stored references. This dot complete. Clear completed references. Delete task references. You know, if all this is supposed to do I guess the question is, what is this doing? It's a lot of things firing, refresh, callback. A lot of things firing, yeah. I just don't know what's triggered on it. When is it, what's supposed to happen when it's triggered? So there's something here. I guess I don't understand how events. I guess the next question I need to ask Claude is how are, all right. I guess I don't really understand how events are triggered in TypeScript. I see an event, for example, that seems to be frequently getting fired by various functions, but I cannot tell what code is running as a result of it firing. All the observer pattern. Here's the flow. Event source. VS Code itself fires events, like when a document changes. Event listener. Your code registers a function to run when the event fires. Event handler, the function that actually executes. Debugging what's running. Here are several ways to see what's happening. Add console logs. So there must be use VS Code's output channel. Use debugger breakpoints. Detailed event information. Common event debugging patterns. Check if events are firing at all. So do I need to find this? right, so it's right here. Oh, that's did change document. Nope, wrong one. Which one am I looking for? Save document. On did change configuration. None of those are that. Great gurgly morgly. Where the heck is the one? It's none of those. Okay. Because it does this thing. On did say that's not it either. This is actually kind of hard. If it was easy, everybody would do it. I know, I know. But trying to track down where code, it's just kind of annoying, really. Because I was get channel, undid change, push, push, push. Then functions are different. You got these context functions, which are functions too. They're doing their own thing, but they get executed differently, which is annoying. Then there's functions and there's methods, and then there's these context things which are defined, and then they get called generally through some kind of event, I think. Because they're all like subscriptions.push. Like it's a trigger of some kind. And that's not really what I was looking for, because that's brand new. Undid change configuration. That's not the one either. Undid save documents. No. That's it. Undid change code lenses. Fire. But this is the one I can't find. All right, let's see. Let's clear this out. Ask another question. I see this in many places. However, how/where do I find what code is assigned to running when this event fires? Because a lot of places on did change code lenses. Okay, but what's firing? What's the result of that? I don't care about where it's fired. I need to know what's firing when it's done. Internal systems detect it and automatically call the provide code lenses. Oh. 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 Okay. obviously, like provide code lenses is constantly firing because everything seems to fire that. Huh. Hmm. Hmm. Provide code lenses. Okay. Yeah, it's fired a lot. And that could be part of the problem. I got too many things that are firing it. What I think I need to do is figure out what is the path of everything that's firing this stupid thing. Because if those are all see, this is refreshed from ClickUp and it fires it. Everything fires it. It's just getting all worked up. And this is find update references for markers. So really, refresh from ClickUp fires it. Everything's going through there. But ultimately, and this was at a time running that on its own. You know what I need to do is I need to figure out what all things are firing it. So what that means is do I have a not console. Console doesn't work. No, output console. Output console. Output channel dot append. Get channel. I need to do this. Then we need to go back to wherever I was. This is a pretty big function, really. I'll be back. I gotta get a drink. I mean, like my other drink, so I can mix this together. All right, I'm back. All right. So now I know, but I think I need to figure out what's happening on how frequently that's getting called. So I needed to put in this console output. So I need to find everywhere that that's happening. And when it fires this, on did change. ClickupLink, get channel. Sure, we'll call it. We'll put it there. And we're going to say and just do this. Trigger. Code lens. Change. Gonna go. What is this? Refresh from ClickUp. Triggering code lens change. And then gonna go like this. We're gonna go like that. There are a few places that this is happening. Save task reference. Add task reference at cursor. Add task reference at cursor. On did save task. Well, that's another trigger. References. Delete task. It's really hard to I'm not fully sure on how all these work. Put that one there. This isn't await, set up task reference, but then save task reference has it going as well. That one I put it in, but that's part of the add task reference at cursor. Refresh just says fire it, which let's just put this in here too. And Debug, clear stored references. Delete task reference. I mean, a lot of these I understand that they're doing. Probably works fine. All right, let's see what happens. All this just try to figure out the best place and reasoning to control my flow of data. I know, and you're probably thinking, but what does this got to do with your game? Hey, it all matters. This has been, well, for one, I started using it quite a bit in my game. But then I started needing to make changes and do things, and I was like, wait a minute, it's not letting me do this. Why not? So as it turns out, I had a couple of bugs. So I've been going through editing and fixing those bugs because I didn't want bugs because those suck. So I got to go figure out what did I, oh. So yeah, it's, so I ended up spending a good chunk of last week, I know, losing a week to working on a utility, but the utility is going to make a big difference. It's a huge time saving. I got a long way to go on this project, and this utility is going to make my life so much easier, I hope. I mean, it is. It's already been allowing me to start tracking and keeping up with my you know, individual things I need to do. All right, so what is the problem? Cannot find output channel manager. Why am I not able to access the output channel manager? I don't know what this is. Oh, you know what? I'll tell you what it is. I probably forgot to import it. I forgot. It's not Go, which I've been working in for a long time. Now, this is the first time I've actually tried creating or putting in functions. I'm starting to do more and more inside of TypeScript on my own that doesn't use AI. And I'm finding that, you know, I'm still learning the intricacies of that task as I do more and more without AI doing it for me. As I'm learning it, figuring it out, there are still lots of things, did I say lots of things? Lots of things that I don't know because I don't know, I haven't been working with TypeScript. I really know very little about it. And there's still some weirdnesses about it that I don't fully gronk, but it's not gonna work because I'm missing the other one. But it might only be one error this time. Cannot find your existing, what? Oh, never mind. I know what that is. Never mind. Nope, go away. You can stop. This doesn't exist. My existing scan function. Which is, what is my existing scan function? This is the function that's supposed to scan and go find my changes. But ultimately, I could probably just call that function. Call this fire event that I'm triggering everywhere else. on did change document. Pretty sure prettier doesn't work here, but yeah, that's what I thought. Let's see if it knows. On did change. It doesn't like my on did change call. Perfect-ish. All right, let's go see what this does. Now, what all I did really is add some logging and make this thing call my thing on change text. If I can get just on change text to work, I feel like I could get rid of a lot of the other calls. That's really what it comes down to. I don't want it firing at every possible little thing. And if it's just on change, then I only need it to fire on change. Why do I need it to fire everywhere else? So I'm thinking I want to eliminate a bunch of the places where it's calling code. Let's see. On did change text document. On did change, on did change, on did change. Save task. See, we got a lot of places where it's being called. Save reference. Save task. Why is it calling it? Why is save task even being called? I'm not even... On did change, on did change. Why does it keep thinking things are changing? Why is that constantly running? On did change text document. Can you explain to me why on did change document is continually firing even when I have not made any changes? I think there's some kind of a loopy thing going on. What I might do, I'm thinking about doing, is commenting out all the did change colenses triggers. All those events that are firing, that are supposedly firing it. I'm thinking about getting rid of all of them and just seeing what happens if I don't let any of them fire. Let's do that. I'm just going to go everywhere and kill it. We're just going to say no more. This one is on refresh from ClickUp. We're not going to do it. Well, that one's... Well, let's just... That one is the one that I actually like. Delete task. Reference. let's get rid of that one for now. And get rid of that one. This one's not going to do it. Clear stored references. This one just fires as a result of clearing stored references. Doesn't do anything else. Huh. Yep, getting rid of that one too. Refresh. That's all it does. It's hard when it's the only thing it does. I don't want to kill the function because I don't know when those things will break. Save task reference. Yep, we'll go with that one too. Okay, let's see what that does. All right, we'll pull that out. Hopefully we get a few less things happening. The goal here is that we don't get constant fires. I want it to stop firing, and then I can trigger it when I want to. The thing is, there could be other extensions that are doing stuff. I'm just looking at my code. There could be other extensions that are constantly doing on-text change, just doing stuff. And if that's the case, wow. Man, what is it doing? Holy moly, look at all that. I can't even read it. It happens so fast. It's just stuff constantly. Yeah, it's just running. I got 11,000. What the heck? Range? 12,000? What are you doing? Whatever this is doing, it's going nuts. Okay. We're stopping that. All right, wait. No, go away. That is. I don't know what you did, but that did not help. Nope, we're getting rid of that. That was not helpful. Oops. Oh, shoot. I think I got rid of my... I got rid of the changes that were doing this thing. Undo change text document. Refresh. See, we're still getting a lot of save. Whoa. Failed to reference of task ID. There's just too much going on. Why is it constantly firing? And then it stops, which I don't blame it because it was totally not working. But it's constantly running right now. And it's only on did change text document that continues to run. So why does it keep thinking document is changed? Ugly muggly. Can't figure it out, man. All right, time for me to stop. That was a fail. I'm going to keep looking, but for now, till next time, God bless.